Are you sick of feeling stuck in a cycle of frustration, blame, and helplessness, wondering why life keeps feeling like this? Well, what if I told you the key to breaking free from victim consciousness is not about changing your circumstances? It's about changing the way that you see yourself. In this video, we're going to talk about how to reclaim your power, shift your mindset, and step into a life where you are the creator, not the victim. If that doesn't feel good to you, then this is not your video. But if that aligns for you, then we've got a lot to get into today. The truth is, right now, if you're resonating with this feeling of being stuck, your moment sucks. Quite frankly, it sucks, and I get it. Because maybe for you, it's been much more than just a moment. It's been an elongated experience, maybe months, maybe years. But sometimes all we need in these moments is somebody who gets us, who can connect with us and help us understand what's going on. Sometimes all we need is a perspective shift. Help us remember that we are safe even in the chaos. The first thing I want you to do is to understand that you've probably been humbled through a new awareness that you didn't have before. Maybe this feeling of being stuck has humbled you so much that it has dropped you to your knees. It's caught you crying uncontrollably, sometimes in the bathroom or in your bedroom, somewhere where you feel isolated enough to just release. And in those moments, maybe you found yourself praying for answers and connecting to God. Somehow in those moments, it allowed you to connect to something greater than yourself because you totally surrendered and realized, I can't do this anymore. I don't have the answers and I can't figure this out by myself. And you totally surrendered and you let go. And now you're watching this video because you have a new willingness to look at your life and your situations differently. And it is because of that that you are going to change and you are going to create a significantly new and better life for yourself. I know for me, very recently, in these moments of a breaking point, this is when I was finally willing to reach for help. I was finally willing to grab the lifesaver and just allow it to pull me up. What I want you to know is in these moments where it feels like there is such a crisis going on, this is actually a good thing. And this is usually when I tell people congratulations, as weird as that sounds. I even had to say it to myself and was like, that's so annoying to hear in the moment, but it's true. And this is because those moments that feel like they're breaking you to the point where you just put your hands up and you totally surrender, this is when your journey officially begins. Because in order to get into the new life that we're most desiring, we have to go through the prerequisites in order to receive that. And those prerequisites are shedding and facing every single deep-seated fear that's been buried inside of you, every limiting belief, every ounce of you playing small, every part of you that you hate and you wish was different, and all the things that are just not working in your life have to come to the surface so you can face it and release it. You've not only got to face your shadows, but you have to walk through the dark tunnel that is the dark night of the soul. You don't maybe realize that's what you're going through. That is what you're going through. It is the rite of passage into your new life. I wanted to talk about this in a victim consciousness video because victim consciousness is one of the heaviest, most densest things we can have to work through in order to officially free ourselves and get ourselves into the life that we're most calling in. Victim consciousness is not just some silly little idea or a trend or something that we just kind of throw out there as a buzzword. It is deep and it is rooted and it requires alchemy in order to fully transmute it. But in order to do that, you have to understand what's going on so that you can release it and feel like, okay, I understood what that was. Now I can be free and move on and I don't need to have that going on in my life anymore. Victim consciousness requires alchemy to release the density to be able to get yourself to the other side. But the good news is whenever we're going through dense experiences, we're never alone. There is a whole collective consciousness of beings experiencing this dismantling as well. So if it feels heavy, feels dense, trying to move through these tough emotions and feeling like a victim in your life and wondering when it's ever going to change, it is because you are trying to hold on to the weight of the world, of the entire collective consciousness going through this shift as well. You're being asked to let it go. Let go of that heaviness because all of the weight that you're holding on is not necessarily all yours. And if you're feeling any weirdness in your body, it's because all of that density is trying to leave your body, but it is going to fight for its life to stay. Every time you try to control everything in your life and you try to solve every single problem and you try to be responsible for every single outcome and totally focus on the how, you intensify the pressure of that weight sitting on your shoulders and you elongate the duration of this victim consciousness experience. You have got to shift your narrative because otherwise you're going to stay stuck in the same place over and over and over again and never get yourself out of this loop. And this is where tuning into the self becomes a non-negotiable. It is not comfortable changing our habits, changing our ways that we live the world and the stories that we tell everybody about ourselves. There's so much attachment in those things, but in the deepest core of your being, if you know you desire freedom, you desire to get out of this painful loop and experience that you feel stuck in, and you know that your life can be better than this, maybe you feel called for more and you don't know what it is yet, but you feel like you have an important mission on this planet, then you have got to pay attention to your habits and the ways that you're showing up in the world, and you have got to be willing to do it different. You do this in your daily choosings. You now bring in consciousness of what am I choosing in every moment. You don't have to know who your highest self is or exactly what you want in your life, but as you're living and you meet choice points, which we meet them all throughout the day, even if they're small, you can choose a new choice in each moment. All it takes is consciousness, intention, and slowing down. You have to remember, life is a mirror. So as you grip, life is going to grip right back. And as you choose certain things, life is going to give you more of that. And as you build this muscle, it gets easier and easier and easier for you to show up for yourself. And you essentially start building self-trust. And as you make more of these choices that feel good on a regular basis, you are essentially surrendering. You're saying, I'm going with the feeling versus what logically makes more sense. I'm trusting my body and my instincts and my intuition. This is what we're being required to build up right now, even if nothing in our life is proving us right. It looks like everything is falling apart. Nothing wants us to win. Everything seems to just be crumbling. Remember, that is the breakdown before the breakthrough. That is the initiation before you get into the light, before you get into your highest desires. When you feel sad and stuck and you wish your life was different and you feel like nothing is operating the way that you imagined it or dreamed it would by this point in your life, it's because your higher self, your spirit, understands that none of this 3D experience that you're experiencing right now is you. Your higher self and spirit feels so opposite of that what you're feeling in your human body is the separation from who you really are to where you are right now. You're feeling this huge gap and it is uncomfortable because that is not alignment. That is you totally stretching yourself away from your true self. I share that with you because your higher self, aka that little voice you get in your intuition, those little cravings for certain things in life that you get, I'm not talking about food, that is your higher self speaking to you, being your cheerleader, rooting you on from the inside, screaming, saying, please pay attention to me because there's so much more for you and I want you to trust what I'm telling you. I can see where you're headed if you believe me. Let's go. Every time that you choose to believe in something greater that you can't see yet, but you know in your heart you desire it, it's you telling that voice inside of yourself that I trust you. I hear you. I want to acknowledge you, and I'm going to really lean into what you're telling me right now because I know you wouldn't steer me wrong because you're me. Just from a higher vantage point. Start believing there's more for you. Your success in life is inevitable. You just have to lean into the nudges you're getting and trust it more than the 3D reality, chaotic experience you're seeing tangible right now. So moving forward, detach from all of the stuff that you're seeing in your world right now that feels like it's not you, it's not where you want to be. Detach from thinking that that has to hold any kind of meaning in your life anymore. Find gratitude in it because it is the old you melting away. It feels uncomfortable because it is, because you no longer align with any of that. So let it fall, let it break away, release it as it's crumbling, and all of the shit feelings and emotions and worries and fears come rushing to the surface. They are coming up to come out. They don't need you to grab a hold of them and keep them there any longer. They are just passing through. Accept it. Take a small step and then another small step. And as you take these steps, allow yourself to focus on cheering yourself on in the process, giving yourself grace, acknowledging how far you've come, even though it feels like shit. Because the truth is you're gonna get through it. This is temporary, and where you're headed is so much bigger than all of this. And as soon as you start meeting these repetitive, frustrating loop situations with a new reaction and a new response, your brand new life can come online. I am so proud of you for walking this journey. It is not an easy one, and that's why I'm here creating videos that I really believe can help people walk through this awakening with more ease and grace in the process and self-love along the way. So thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.